91.5 and 102.7 The Word. This is the Rise and Shine program. Randy's in the newsroom, and on the phone with me is Joe Matthews. He's the founder and president of DNA LifePrint. Joe, thanks for joining us this morning.
No, thank you for inviting me on.
Now, DNA LifePrint is going to be in Baxter at Mills Ford for a special day on April 4th, or April 14th, I should say, from 9:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon to talk about the advantage of DNA LifePrint Child Safety Program. Joe, what is DNA LifePrint all about?
Well, John Walsh and I together, and as a result of a case that I worked as a homicide investigator of a little child, we developed the home DNA identification kit. It lasts forever, and you keep it in the privacy of your own home. There's no repository or big brother involved, and it's a buccal swab. You just swab the inside of the cheek. You place the swab in a tube, and the tube has a solution, and it preserves it forever. And what we do is the children come in, we take biometric fingerprinting, which is no ink. It scans all 10 digits. It's compatible with the FBI data bank, the DNA compatible with the FBI data bank, and a digital colored photo of the child, and we burn it on a CD, and along with a child safety journal that the children, the mother or father asks the child. There's like 50 questions that are very important that they should know. Things like, you may know who your child's best friend is at home, but you don't know who his best friend at school is. And this is all through Mills Ford. They're paying for everything, and they're giving it back to the community, totally free of charge.
Well, it's fantastic. Now tell us how this would help. I can see right off the bat how the questions would be good if a child is missing, or hopefully not, but missing and possibly kidnapped. You want to know as much about the child's activity patterns as possible. What does the DNA LifePrint and the fingerprints, how does that help?
Well, DNA, when most people think of DNA, they think of two things. They think of identification or paternity testing. But where it's utilized by law enforcement is what you call trace evidence. Let's say, God forbid, a child is missing, abducted, whatever the case might be, and every time it's publicized, you're going to get leads from all over. And you're going to follow up every single lead. Let's say you find a suspect vehicle, and you find a pacifier or a soiled diaper or whatever it might be. You extract the DNA and you do a comparative analysis to the sample that you have, and then you could be sure that that child was in that vehicle or that apartment or that home or that campsite. And that's how you trace people.
Yeah.
I mean, DNA technology today is just so advanced, it's unbelievable. Just by they even have touch DNA, where if you even touch the keys of your typewriter, you'll be able to extract the DNA.
Wow. Well, our guest this morning is Joe Matthews, the founder and president of DNA LifePrint. And again, you'll be able to have free biometric fingerprint profile, digital photograph, a child safety journal, and a DNA identification kit at Mills Ford in Brainerd Baxter on the 14th from 9:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. We're going to be back and talk with Joe some more in just a moment. 91.5 and 102.7 The Word. Randy's supposed to be in the newsroom. I don't know where he is right now, but this is the Rise and Shine program. And with us on the phone is Joe Matthews of DNA LifePrint. Joe is the founder and president of DNA LifePrint, and you've been an associate, or you have an associate that's been on television and really has raised the awareness on a lot of these issues. Tell us about your association with, what's his name again on TV?
John Walsh.
John Walsh, yeah, and that program that has really touched the heart of so many people.
Yeah, America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. How did that come about?
Well, in 1981, when John's son was abducted from a Sears Mall in Hollywood, Florida, I was in charge of homicide and the chief polygraph examiner for Miami Beach Police. And Hollywood asked if I would come over and assist them in doing the polygraphs. And the very first person I polygraphed was John Walsh. And that friendship has lasted all these 30 years.
Wow.
I found him to be a very sincere, sensitive, loving man and a loving husband and father that was devastated, that was frustrated and had no idea where his child was. And I stayed involved in the case. It was like a roller coaster. I didn't approve of the way the case was being handled, but I had no say-so in the matter. But every few years, they'd call me back as a consultant or advisor, and I'd get involved in the case again. And then, thank you and goodbye, and never had access to the case file where I could actually do the investigation myself because it wasn't even in our city.
Yeah.
And then when I retired from Miami Beach Police, I was doing the cold cases for America's Most Wanted. And then in 2006, John and Reve Walsh asked if I would prove once and for all, who killed their son.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked the case for 2 years and 9 months. I found evidence that was never identified before, or seen before. I found witnesses that were never interviewed. And, the case was closed not only by Hollywood Police, but by the state attorney. And it was officially proven that Otis Toole abducted and murdered Adam Walsh.
In the years since you've been involved in law enforcement, how has this? I know technology is involved in this, but how has the cases like this of missing children? How have they changed, and have we gotten better at responding quickly enough to make a difference when a child goes missing?
I think the reason why John's son's case, Adam, wasn't solved for so many years is because no one back then in 1981 was really familiar on how to conduct an investigation like that. Mm-hmm. Each department had their own policies and procedures, but now we've got the cookbook. Everybody follows the exact recipe on exactly what to do when a child goes missing. There's absolutely no delay. It's a priority case, and by everybody working together and sharing information, and with today's technology, it makes it that much easier. But what's so sad, when you look at the statistics, last year there was over 800,000 police reports of missing children. That means 800,000. That means it was enough for a parent or a guardian to report that they couldn't find their child. Mm-hmm. And of that, I think it's like 6,000 of the 800,000. I think it's actually 500,000, 580,000, whatever it is. These were a combination of parents that couldn't find their children, reported to the police, then they found it because they didn't know somebody was babysitting them when the husband picked up the child.
Yeah.
This includes runaways and things like that. But there was 200,000 that are family abductions, like the husband and wife are splitting up, and the husband takes the child back to a South American country or something.
Custody kind of cases, yeah.
Yeah, and those are very traumatic, and those are, as to my case, as bad as stranger, not as bad, obviously, but for the parent that's missing the child,
yeah,
as a stranger abduction.
Right.
And there's 115 actual stranger abductions, which means that the parents have no idea. They don't know who it is. They have never met them. Totally strangers that either were opportunists or they had a reason to kidnap the kid for ransom or for whatever reason. And with today's technology, it makes it that much easier for law enforcement to conduct an investigation. And just God willing, you do everything you can for the safe return of the child.
Well, this event at Mills Ford and Brainerd is going to help, and hopefully you never have to use any of these measures for your child. But there's always that possibility, and for that reason, we'd encourage you to be over there on April the 14th from 9:30 in the morning till 2. And does it take a long time, Joe, or how does it work when parents bring their child in?
It's really it takes only about a minute and a half for each child. And what I recommend, too, is when we talk about children, the thought in your mind and my mind would be, like an infant to a kid ready to go to high school. But these kids that are very vulnerable, although, the juniors and seniors in high school today, they're going to be going off to college. That's when they make, some bad mistakes and they could get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Or, on the other hand, is, when people become older and Alzheimer's, God forbid, sets in, or the confusion sets in, taking their DNA is so very important. Because if you and I were having a cup of coffee on South Beach, watching all these nice people go by, and we saw a child 2, 3, 4 years old standing by themselves, we'd protect that child until law enforcement showed up and try to find, the parent or guardian.
Yeah.
But if we saw an elderly man or woman, or a disabled man or woman, walking the streets, you would never think that they didn't know where they were, or they were lost, or whatever the case might be.
Right.
These are the people that you have to maintain. The family has to maintain the DNA sample for them. Because law enforcement, what they do, as soon as you find someone who's unable to identify themselves, they take a DNA and they put it in CODIS, which is the FBI data bank. And then, if, God forbid, you're a family member and you're missing a loved one, you turn over your DNA and they put that in CODIS. And within seconds, you have a matchup.
That's great. Yeah, that's a good point, and excellent point. Another reason to be there at Mills Ford, 9:30 to 2 on Saturday, the 14th of April. And this should be a great promotion. Joe, thank you for the strides that you made technologically and in putting together this program so it's simple and easy to help folks resolve some of these crisis situations they find themselves in.
Well, I thank you for getting the word out, and I really thank Mills Auto Group, Mills Ford, for, just giving back to the community the way they are. I mean, God bless them.